Okay, third time is the charm. Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Jonathan. Welcome back to my knitting podcast. I'm back a lot sooner than I thought I would be, simply because of all the love I received on my first episode. So I knitted as fast as I could to be ready with lots more knitting content for you guys. I am going to jump right into all the knitting stuff, and then at the end I want to check in and talk about all the lovely comments and shout outs that I've received over the last couple of weeks. So let's jump right in with my first and only finished object, which I think you'll be able to guess what it is. And reach, ta-da! This is my So Basic sweater by Max the Knitter. This, full disclosure, came off my needles yesterday morning, so it's not blocked and it is still got like ends hanging out everywhere, but they're mostly woven in. I just need to block it, and then once it's done blocking, I will snip them off. I'm going to pull this on super quickly for you guys because it's very hot in London finally. I'm getting caught in ends that are sticking out. There we go. So this is a top-down raglan construction jumper. It is, here we go, you can see. I spoke about it quite a bit in the previous episode, but now that it's finished, I can tell you that I absolutely love it. Once I do block it, I will block it pretty much to the measurements that it's currently coming up as, apart from maybe the sleeves, which are a smidge short. But other than that, I'm super happy with the fit. I'm super happy with the drape. The yarn is Garthenor Preseli in the color Elderberry, which is a fingering weight yarn. And I am absolutely obsessed with this jumper. It's unfortunate that the summer has finally arrived very late here in London, because I don't know if I'm going to get much wear out of it over the next few months, but I do know I will be knitting this pattern again and again, because I think my boyfriend wants one, and I definitely want one in another color as well. I think in a light gray would be very nice. It has a super nice detail, which hopefully you can see on the sleeves, which is just a purl every couple of stitches, which just creates this kind of bit of interest in the pattern as you're knitting it, and both for anyone looking at you. As I mentioned, it has a amazing neckline, which I banged on about for ages in the previous episode because of my previous fingering weight jumper where I was unhappy with how boat necky it was. But this neckline is absolutely perfect. There's a lot of little details in it which I won't go into, but you can tell that even though this is like a really basic pattern, it is worth the money that you paid for it, because Max has really thought of a lot of small details that make a really simple sweater or jumper amazing. You know, you can make a really complicated pattern and a really complicated piece of knitwear, but there's something really great about making something very simple very well. And that's something I really admire about Max and his designs, especially this one. So I will be making more and more again and again. Once it's blocked properly, I will post pictures on my Instagram and on my Ravelry as well. So if you're interested in seeing it when it's finally blocked out, do follow me on there. Anything else I want to say about it? Yeah, I'm just obsessed with it. I can't wait to wear it. The yarn is so cozy and nice, and it's 100% wool, but it's not scratchy or anything like that. So this is it. I'm absolutely in love with it. Can't recommend it enough if you want to have a super simple, well done, basic sweater pattern in your repertoire. This is definitely one you should get. It was a pleasure to knit, and I can't recommend it enough, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Just want to like hug myself because I love it. Yeah, so I'll be making at least 2 more before the year is out, but let me pull it off because it is very warm. Okay, cool. So yes, that is that. I hope you guys like it and like the color and like the design, because I definitely do. So I have two whips. One is the sock that you saw last week, which I'm just on the toe of the first sock. So I'm not going to show you that because it's just pretty much the same as last week. I just need to finish off the toe and do the second one. But the main work in progress that I've been working on since I finished the sweater, I literally bound off the sweater yesterday morning and immediately jumped into the next I bound off my sweater yesterday and I immediately jumped into my next project, which I spoke about in the previous episode as well. One of my many plans. It's from Laine magazine. It's on the cover here. It's this cowl, which is called a Snowfield cowl, also by Max the Knitter. Can you tell I'm in a Max the Knitter moment? So this is how far I've gotten. Not very far. I'm about just over halfway done with one repeat. And it's a reversible cowl. So it's knit in the round and then you knit a long tube and then you seam the ends together to make this long cowl that you can like double and reverse. And I'm knitting it out of Walcot yarns is the green in Opus, which is merino and alpaca. And then the fluffy, this is Qing Fibre melted Suri. Oh, let me pull it this way actually. You can see better. That's what the ball band looks like. And this is in the color platinum. And yeah, melted Suri, 65% alpaca, 25% merino, 10% silk. So I did show these in the previous episode, but this is them all caked up, so you can see. And I'm obsessed with this color combination. I'm obsessed with both the yarns. It's the first time I've ever used kind of with the Qing Fibre, the melted Suri, it's the first time I've ever used kind of a fibre like this that's really like fluffy, and even as I knit with it, it's like gets all over my hands. So that's definitely been interesting and different from what I'm used to. But yeah, get a good close-up of that. I'm absolutely in love with it. There we go. It's so cool. I can't wait to like keep going with it. It's like, you know, because you knit a big long tube, you end up with like double the fabric, and then because it's color work, stranded color work, you've got the floats in the background, so it's like 4 layers of fabric, and then the cowl can be like double twisted. So I just know it's going to be like the warmest cowl ever once it's done, just in time for summer for me. But you know, for me, this project is just something that I really wanted to knit. So even though I won't get to wear it or use it for another, you know, 4 or 5 months, the act of knitting it has been super, super exciting for me. It's one of those things as well, like as I'm looking at it now, I'm like, oh, I just want to do some, a few stitches, a few rows. But the other interesting thing, which I mentioned in the previous episode as well, is that I have started knitting continental with this. So basically I'm holding the green in my left hand and the Suri in the platinum color in my right hand, and then I'm throwing the Qing Fibre, the platinum, and I'm doing continental with the green Walcot yarns. And it's been, I won't lie, the first couple of rows were very slow, just getting used to the action. But I think the fact that you have, you know, because I'm learning a new style of knitting, but I'm doing my old style at the same time, you're kind of comforted by the fact that you know, you only have to do a few stitches of the opposite style before you get back into your comfort zone. So it makes it a lot easier. And because this is all done in the round, I'm only knitting, so I don't have to think about purling in a new style as well as knitting in a new style. The only thing is that you have to catch your floats as you go. And I don't think the floats are super interesting on the inside of this, but I can show you. Yeah, they're not super interesting just yet, maybe when I get further. But yeah, I've really, really enjoyed it. I do need to focus a lot though, because it is like a chart, a colorwork chart. I'm holding 2 yarns at the same time in a new way. I'm counting stitches from the chart, and then I'm also counting every 3 stitches to catch my float. So yesterday this is about 30 rows or so, and my brain hurt by the end of the day just because it was so much focus, especially compared to my previous project, which was just a lot of stockinette and knitting in the round. So I am really enjoying it. It's definitely taking a lot of brain power. And I've got, you know, this is about an eighth of the way through because you've got to do 4 repeats. But I'm really, really enjoying it so far. And I'm actually interested to do the joining of the 2 ends when you finish. Like, this is a provisional cast on, as you can tell. And so at the end, you pick up the live stitches and graft the 2 ends together. And it's a new way of grafting, which I've never done. So I'm really excited to keep going. So this is definitely one that's a process knit that I'm really enjoying, even though I'm excited about the product at the end. But I won't be able to use the product because it'll probably be like August and warm when I do finish. Not even July probably when I finish. So I'm enjoying the process now because I know I won't be able to enjoy the product until quite a while from now. So I'm really enjoying this. It's another Max the Knitter pattern. I will, on my next sweater plan is probably a pattern by Vincent from Dye by Dells, who is part of Les Garçons with Max. So I will jump to the other half of the wonderful couple for my next sweater, I think. But for now, it's all about Max. So yes, I'm absolutely loving this one. And I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to rush my way through this just because I won't be able to use it. But I'm enjoying the process so much, I'm going to keep going until I want to stop. But hopefully I'll get it finished so I can share it with you guys and show you a nice finished object. But yeah, so this is the Snowfield by Maxim Sear, Max the Knitter. And that's my main work in progress other than my socks. So my socks I tend to knit at work, and then I have my at-home project, which is a little bit more complicated, which is this project for now. So yeah, so that's all that I've been knitting on. It was a lot of work on the sweater to get that finished so that I could show you guys and tell you all about it. So now it's time to do maybe more smaller projects. I think I might cast on a hat to learn brioche as well, which I mentioned in the previous episode. So I might cast that on as well, just so I have, you know, a bit of variety and also things that I can get done a bit faster. And then with the brioche, it's the hat I want to do is a 2-color pattern. So getting confident with the 2-color stranded knitting from the cowl will be super helpful with that. So yeah, so those are my kind of knitting plans and where I'm at the moment. Last weekend I also got on my bike and went for a cycle to get some things, and my main goal was to get some linen because I wanted to try to make a like a t-shirt for myself. So I've got some linen. This is actually Quince & Co. Sparrow. It was like, you can tell it doesn't have a proper label. I think it was just kind of a leftover skein that they had at Loop, which is where I went. And I got the color mica. So this I only really got just to try knitting with linen, just to see how I liked it. So I'm going to like knit a swatch and just, you know, wash it and see how it works. There was a lovely lady there who I spoke to at the store who she gave me some tips on it, and you know, we spoke about linen for quite a while about how the more you wash it, the softer it gets. So I think I am going to give that a go and see how I like linen as just to knit with, and also how the fabric ends up being, because I would love to knit myself a t-shirt within the next couple of months, so that maybe by August I will have knit a t-shirt that I could wear. So yeah, so I picked this up, and that's kind of like a plan I had in my head to see if I could make something nice and summery that I can actually wear, since I'm not going to be able to wear my cowl for quite a while. And yeah, the last few bits that I wanted to speak about were 2 other things that I picked up. The first of which I think everyone has been talking about, which is this book, which is 52 Weeks of Shawls by Laine Publishing. and I haven't had a time to fully go through it yet, but I did want to talk about one pattern that I came across, which is called the Iney, I-N-E-Y, by Natalia Sinelshikova. I'll obviously have it up here on the screen, but this pattern, let me go this way. There we go. So this is very interesting to me. I have another one of their patterns in my Ravelry queue, I believe. And what's interesting about this shawl is that it is a colorwork shawl that's knit in the round and then steeked. And I just thought it's fascinating. So it's like a triangle that you knit in a kind of a, I guess a cone shape it must be, and then you steek it. So I'm not really a cardigan wearer, so I could never really see myself knitting a cardigan and steeking, but I could see myself doing this. So I've been thinking about this a lot. And because I've been doing more color work as well, I'm very excited to see if I could do this. And it's also giant, so I think it would take me forever, but it's very interesting. It's one of the shawls that first jumped out to me in this book. So I would highly recommend, having a flick through it. You can tell already that I really like Laine and what they do and their whole aesthetic, so that's not surprising. And then the last thing I picked up from Loop, which they gave me a lovely tote bag, which they always do, and they're such nice people there. The last thing I picked up from Loop was something that I had no intention of picking up, and it was just the colors spoke to me. And even in the shop, one of the ladies was like, look, don't worry about it, you're just adopting it and taking it home. And I think that's definitely true. So this is Spincycle yarns. This is one of the other things I picked up. I hope you can see the color properly. And this is dyed in the wool Spincycle yarns. This is 100% American wool, superwash, 200 yards. This is sport weight, and this is in the color Castaway. So I'm not really a superwash wool kind of person, but this just, like, look how beautiful it is. I'm just obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with the color, and I have no idea what I want to do with it, or it just really spoke to me. So it was just one of those things, and I think we all have those moments in a yarn shop where we just kind of have to have it, and this was it for me. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, what will happen with it. It is quite expensive, but I really liked it. So I brought it home with me. So that's the other thing I picked up besides the linen and the books and magazines. But yeah, those are all my acquisitions for this episode. So nothing, not as crazy as last episodes, because I have a lot to keep me busy. So I'm just going to keep going, and hopefully next time I'm going to have get those socks done for you and the cowl done for you as well. I say done for you, done for me, done for us. We're a community here. So yeah, that's all the knitting. And the main other thing that I wanted to say is thank you. It's been 3 weeks, I think, since I just put out the first episode, and the response has been incredible. Huge shout out to Michael from Piece for Piece Crafting, who shouted me out in his one of his last episodes of this podcast, which I think created a huge spike in the people finding my podcast, which I really appreciated. So it was really great just to see. It was like a celebrity because Michael was someone I watch all the time, so it was like a celebrity calling my name. So thank you, Michael, for shouting me out, and thank you everyone who commented. I'm trying to get through each one and trying to respond to each one. I'm looking up every pattern you tell me that you're knitting on. I'm looking them all up because I love seeing what you guys are doing. So please keep telling me what you're knitting on while you watch, or what you're currently working on. Like, I want to know. I'm getting inspired and fascinated by what everyone is making. And a special shout out to Brogan from Woolly Witchcraft, who commented, and then Petra from Knit Inc., who also commented on my latest episode, or my only episode, because I watch both of their podcasts as well. And so again, it was just nice to see the the amazing love from the community. I don't think there are very many communities in the world like the knitting community where everyone is so enthusiastic and encouraging and kind. It's very rare to find that. And the most amazing thing was so many people commented, complimenting me, but also trying to, share and support knowledge and wisdom on the things I spoke about in the podcast. So I got loads of recommendations on how to help with the boat neck on my jumper, the flax light. So it was just amazing that, knitters, we love to encourage each other, and then we love to help out because we want everyone to succeed and make beautiful things. And I think that's fantastic. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all the love on my first episode. This episode I think is going to be a lot quicker because there wasn't that much to talk about, but I hope you still enjoyed. I will be back hopefully in another 3 weeks, if not a month, with more updates on what I'm doing. Anything else I wanted to say? No, I don't think so. I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. Comment down below, tell me what you're working on. I like when people are turning heels because I tend to turn heels when I watch podcasts. But do let me know what you're working on and where you are in the world. And I hope you're well. I hope you're safe in your body. And yeah, take care.